problems that may come, invent solutions for them. Those kind of skills are the ones that are exhibited or required of the really top management. And soft skills, of course, equally through all. Hard skills, okay. There is a place for it, but as you go further, it's soft skills. So, Stu, when I say build your skills, concentrate on both sides, uh, soft skills as well as hard skills, right? And then the other aspect of business is, or business strategy, very closely related, is the marketing aspect. Don't expect things will come to you, just on a plate. You have to make efforts to market yourself to your employers, who are in a sense your customers, and later on, in whichever role you are in, you got to make your mark as a valuable contributor, a valuable employee within the organization. And that is not just going to happen sitting somewhere and just doing your daily work. You have to make an effort which is greater than that, which makes people notice that yes, here is a person who has leadership capabilities, who we can earmark for development further, and so on, right? So, I mean, you can study about marketing tactics and so on. I know I'm not saying at that stage you have to employ all of those, but the very concept, at least, that yes, I got to do something that will make me visible, will make me appear valuable. It's not just appear; it should be, in reality, and that will take me further in the direction where I want to go, whatever the goals I have set. So, I don't know if it's a little bit of bragging, but Amresh, one interview that I appeared for was the Dufferin, to join the Dufferin. That's the one and only interview in my life that actually, resulted in, okay, being placed on Dufferin or being selected. After that, every other position that I held came to me by invitation. Can you realize the value of that?
I can.
Yeah.
So it
It's
was So it was basically, as you rightly mentioned, of the differentiator in your case probably was the work done, and probably the employers, or whoever has been your mentor or seniors, they have been noting it down. They have been giving the report card, or that is how you have built up your reputation, the self branding, and that is ultimately it works out to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't want to make myself as a kind of role model for it, but I'm just giving that as an example. If when it comes to various jobs, then or various positions, various responsibilities, then you are thought of as the person who's right, and you are approached by the parties. That is one clear indication that all right, you're doing okay, marketed yourself well. Otherwise, start filling application forms, appear for interviews, and then face the possibility of rejection. You know, never actually had to do that. Even I agree, and that period I talked about in after Scindia, when there were probably possibility of getting placement was very difficult. Uh, I did approach companies like all of us did, and the situation being what it was, nobody really turned me down, but they all said the same thing. "Ye abhi jahaz nahi hai, we'll let you know," and etc. etc. All that fine. And in the case of Babar, I actually got a call, just sitting and doing nothing, and I was told, "Okay, hey, Babar office is calling you," and I went there, and that was it. So. Never had to really kind of apply and compete for a position. So that's something which I'm proud of in one sense, and I would kind of use that and as an example of marketing yourself, right?
Thank you,
So
sir.
yeah,
Thank you so much, sir. You have described it so beautifully, and I'm sure cadets who are listening to you, junior officers or trainees, or even the senior leadership positions, it is ultimately your own branding or your own differentiator will make you reach wherever you are going to be or wherever you want to be. The one thing that I remember, what brought you here will not bring you there. So you have to keep evolving. So coming back to the next topic, sir, you said that there was a time in your, we have discussed now on the when you started your career, when you build up and you have struggled for some time when the Scindia got closed down. Later on, when you worked for about 11 years as a master, and there was a time, or I would say the self-realization that yes, probably the growth that you're looking, probably the internal growth, I mean, that you're looking at is not happening. There this kind of situation do come or does come to most of us at once some point of time, and it did came to you as well, and then you came out ashore and only to realize that how little we were knowing when you were sailing on board ships, and there is so much to learn, and that is how the learning continues, and you are still learning, you are still teaching, you are still learning, you are still teaching, and your story, your journey continues. So what would you like to tell to master mariner, to chief engineers, to those who are on shore or who are future masters of Indian shipping, that how would they kind of convince themselves that there is so much to learn? Don't get kind of convinced that you know everything and now that's it. How much and things, especially with this AI and with this technological development, there are n number of things that these kids can do now, because there is a lot of facilities on board as well. Those days probably the internet and those facilities were not there. How can they utilize those gadgets, those systems or technological development which constructively rather than destructively on board ships to enhance their competency, so that when they come ashore at least they are in better position than you and I?
yeah, absolutely. As I said, plenty of instances where I can point out senior people on board, masters, chief engineers. When we interact with them, we find how limited their area of knowledge is, as far as even our own industry is concerned, right? How the industry functions and so on. And there I've noticed two things, Amresh. Those who have orientation for learning and for development, and those who kind of don't, And I used to take a course. In fact, you have been a part of it, commercial aspects of ship operation, and where we had senior masters, chief engineers, even top four used to be sitting in the class. And then there were a variety of subjects, uh, commercial, insurance, financial, and so on, related to the marine industry, that expose the participants of the course to what goes on outside of the ship, right? Uh, so how the industry runs. And at one point when I, took a feedback, I always do, from all participants. There was a feedback. It came to me through the office, through the superintendent of the office, from one chief engineer. He didn't, of course, give me direct feedback, but through the office, he said, "Oh, this course is no use. There's nothing." So I was a kind of a bit surprised that how a chief engineer would say that. And then I thought about it and I realized people are afraid of their own ignorance. And when they are afraid of their own ignorance, and when it is pointed out, they can take a position of defense, you know, that, I don't need this kind of information. Why are you even, talking about it? There's nothing to do with me. So this is a defense mechanism. There are other people sitting also in the class who are absolutely opposite, completely in appreciation of, oh wow, we didn't know this, now we do. And so that's the two aspects. Now, what attitude you any meaning to say any senior person would want to adopt is up to them. If they think they know everything and nothing more is needed, okay, uh, good luck to them. And those who say, well, there's a lot to learn and whatever comes my way, and so many avenues are open today, thanks to technology. Uh, Drop of a hat, you can pick up any subject and explore it and research it and try to absorb the work done by so many people in the past. It's all available like free. So it's a matter of attitude. And now I will relate the same thing in real life. The superintendent was in the office, and I will not, of course, need to name him, but this is within the Williamson office. Uh, Engineering background, which is common, from chief engineer, you go to office, you become superintendent. And this gentleman, well, friendly with me, a good friend, he was attending a course, one of the IIM Ahmedabad courses that we used to do. And then we had one session on commercial management, at the end of which he came and asked me, Yankee, ye demurrage kya hota hai? So, you know, I said, thank you for asking me, and thank you for taking the, courage to ask this question, which may appear at your level as a superintendent. You are not very clear about it. And you are supposed to know, you know, more or less everything that goes on a ship. So that was fantastic. I would say, that somebody had uh, the courage to come up and say, well, I don't know this and I should. That's it. So same thing goes, Amrish, with your question. Loads of information is available. Yeah, you don't want to waste your time searching and uh, you know sort of browsing website after website. A lot of stuff out there which will just boggle your mind. But choose carefully uh, the area of your interest, whatever is there you want to know further about. And if necessary, Captain Amresh is there, the mentoring group is there to guide you on it. Okay, this would be the right thing to do. Uh, if you're looking at soft skills, I mean, there is a organization called Course Era, where you have so many free courses on soft skills. You can just enroll and do that on your own time online. Uh, it's really very, very valuable, provided you see the value in it. Yeah, if you don't, then then it's just a waste, right? So that's what I have to say on that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. We'll start question answer session in the next 5 minutes. Uh, just one more last question, sir. So we have touched based upon initial journey. We have touched based upon master, as a master you have served, and then later on your soul life, how you have continued to dedicate your time with training and establishing institutions, as well as participating in various courses and all. So just want to ask one last question from my side, and then I will open this forum to all. You have mentioned that uh, there is a lot of you said the courses, Coursera is one of them, and there are many, and you have been part of IIM Ahmedabad and Bangalore. These are the two prominent institutions of this country, and we as a mentoring group keeps hearing this kind of question from our mentees, from our cadets, from our seniors, that they want to to get into IMs or some sort of MBA, or for their future job prospect. Can they do after mates? Should they do after second mate, or should they do after master? What is guidance that you would like to give? Shall they go after second mate, or can they wait till they become master, earn some money, have some sort of backup, and then join this kind of course?
Yeah, right. So when you look at management education, particularly in our country, also abroad for that matter, uh, the common perception is one does graduation, and then in post graduation, you step straight away into an MBA, which means you don't really see the corporate world or the business world. You go from one academic institution to another. And if you are brilliant, bright, intelligent, yeah, perhaps even in the 2 year full time program of an MBA, you can cope and come out with the good colors. But if you see the admission process, and particularly IIMs, 60% of the people there are with what we call work experience. And typically 2 to 3 years work experience is a very sort of common average. So a person does a graduation, maybe even post graduation, even BTech or whatever, goes to work, gets into the real life situations of the company that they are working for, understand what really is involved in operations, in marketing, in finance, in HR, and have an exposure to the working world, and then apply for the full term MBA course, and then you are much better placed, and you have better chances of getting in, and also better chances of getting value out of what is being taught there. It's like same thing saying, doing a BSc nautical science course without ever seeing a ship, you know, uh, as against going on a ship and coming back and then understanding what is navigation and chart work. So same thing, work X matters. But then for us, what is work X? Training period is not considered as work X. So you have to be in employment. And therefore, after your apprenticeship, you get your second mates, then your employment starts. Maybe you take a couple of years of that, and then at least rise to a management position like chief mate, and experience what management is in terms of even dealing with people, organizing tasks, so many things. And then uh, maybe the path that would open for you would be an executive MBA. You need not go into 2 year MBA program like with other students. You may look to get an executive MBA. And this is the executive MBA is a phenomena that has become popular in the last, say, 15, 20 years. And even IIMs has started offering it, and so it's in IIMs, it's a 1 year MBA full time. But there are executive MBAs which need not be full time, which you can do, over a longer period of 2 years, like this IIM Mumbai one, and so on. So work experience always helps. And in my experience, if you can wait till the time you have some management experience in your pocket, like as a mate or a master, even better. And then because I've seen people who have attended management programs who were sponsored by their companies. In this case, the owner of the company wanted to send their son, who was just a graduate, and we were not so sure whether the son would really appreciate what's going on in the class. And that's exactly what happened. Whoever was sitting in the back, everything was flying over his head. You know what to do. So yeah, one must have some appreciation of the working environment to get real value out of higher level education, which is management MBAs. This is considered a higher level education.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I think it's a good message that at least become chief mate, have some experience as chief mate. Probably you can appear for master license, have COC, but at least you should sail as a chief mate before you get into postgraduate executive MBA program from IIMs or ISB or foreign university. That will always add value. Also, it will give you some sort of financial stability as well to probably fund your course, because these courses are expensive, so you can fund yourself. Thank you, sir. Uh, Now I would like to open the forum, and any one of you can just unmute yourself or raise your hand. I can unmute. You can unmute and you can ask your questions. So, Captain Kalia, you have raised hands up. So you want to start with your friend? You want to ask something?
I've been just listening to his views, and which are very much, on the higher side, and which is very much appreciated. What my this thing is, my experience all through, and being the batchmate of Yankee, is that the more interaction a seafarer has with other people, the more he is likely to learn. That's one thing. God has given us the opportunity of having getting the this thing. Sailing on board and going all over the world. We are seeing various environments and we are picking up things from there. But how much time do we spend with each other on the ship? In the previous days, we did not have anything. We used to be with each other only, either drinking or having a good evening or playing table tennis and all these things. And we were interacting with each other. We were learning from each other. But the ship being a closed community of say 25, 30 people, during our time it used to be 50, 55 also. But what I'm saying is this: we can learn from each other, and it's a family. All the people on board, whether he joins later or earlier, it doesn't matter. It's a family. We have to look after each other. We have to interact with each other, not sit in our cabins and very watch call movies on our laptop or something like that. So those are the things which should be kept in mind by the present day sailors. That's what I wanted to convey across. And learning is a process, lifelong process, which a person is supposed to go through. Even if I go and meet somebody and he talks to me rudely, I just come out from there, and then I go up back to him after about 5-10 minutes. Because when I went to him the first time, maybe there was something else rolling in his mind, which affected his called reaction to my question. Huh? But now maybe the thing has gone off his mind and he's in a better frame of mind to answer my question properly. It doesn't matter. Nobody in this universe is worth dictating to me or to anybody else how I should conduct myself or how I should think. What we have done all these years is a management itself. Right from the time we were 18 years old till now, it was all management. So all these degrees here and there, management degrees and all that, maybe it's required for the youngsters, but for the senior people, we can give it a go. We can either do it or not do it. It doesn't matter. What it is, like what I do, when I have a problem, I smile. And that itself changes my whole thinking process. And then I thank God for giving me that difficulty, because I'm learning something from it. And then third, I thank God for giving me this difficulty, because maybe some earlier karma from the earlier life has been taken care of. This is my view about these things.
Yeah, thanks, Mukesh. Thanks for backing up and appreciate your views. On this matter of shipboard relationships, we used to have a saying, gangway to gangway. Matlab, you come on the gangway, up the gangway, then you are with your shipmates, and by the time you leave the gangway, they are all forgotten. And there is another kind of relationship which just stays. Once you are off the gangway, it stays for the rest of your life. And I can tell you, there are people today who I know, very good friends, who were just my shipmates for a few weeks, when we were cadets together, or maybe, junior officers. And, that relationship just went strength to strength to strength, long after gangway, right? It's amazing.
Thank you, sir. Captain Kiran Joshi, sir, you want to unmute yourself and you want to ask something?
Good evening, sir, and nice to interact with Captain Sharma. We are
Pleasure.
a team of CMMI where we do mentoring together. Of course, Captain Sharma might not be knowing me and may not be aware so much, but it is nice to see you. I wanted to ask you something, that the program what we have been conducting under the CMMI umbrella towards the mentoring of the basically those cadets who have just passed out, how effective is it? Because those who have passed out do their second mates never give any feedback to us. What was the
Sir,
further?
sir, can we limit this discussion to our
Okay,
program? You can take it one to one. This question.
okay, okay, okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Now I would like to request Games Great Eastern Institute of Maritime Studies. You may unmute yourself and you may ask your questions. I'm sure so many of you will have a lot of questions, and we have industry expert Captain Sharma, who can definitely try to answer as much as time permits. Over to you, Captain Khan. Games.
Good evening, sir, and it's always a privilege to be in the audience where Captain Sharma is there, and I always revere him with a small connection from Lucknow. So
It's where I am
we-
sitting right
we-
now. Yeah.
you're sitting in Lucknow, and sometimes in Dehradun also we have a connect. So it's wonderful to be there as a part of this initiative by Amresh. And I think it's very, very nice initiative to have the young people meet the icons of the industry once in a while and have some takeaway. Sir, just one small question. You have been a trainer since a very, very long time. As you said, you were the first training institute to have a simulator. So that's way back, maybe, I mean, maybe 90s or something of that kind, or that you have started this simulation. Now you are now teaching the premier institution in the country that everyone vies for, that is IIM, Ahmedabad, and the IIMs. So big transition from you. So I just want to ask a simple question: that what teaching abilities are the best to connect with the millennials of today, to attract their attention, to keep them focused, and to keep them motivated? There must be some trick mantra up your sleeve which we can use, sir.
That's a trick question, Captain Khan. That's a trick question. Yeah. So my experience is more with, at senior level,
Yes,
and
sir.
not so much at pre-C level. Obviously, I was not, part of a pre-C institute. So the people who have sat in my class are either certified officers generally, or senior people. So my core strength, if I have to call it, it would be executive education, right? So, but I can appreciate the challenges that uh, pre-C trainers would face. Yeah, because I've been in that condition also in one of the universities. I went in Baroda, and I was invited to talk about transportation technology, about ships, about airplanes, about roads. Yeah, I had to learn all of that, by the way. Ships I knew, but airplanes and roads, you can ask me any question. I can, some technological level I can answer. But but those were students of BBA and MBA classes who are normal graduates from, or school pass from somewhere else. Similar to pre-C in a sense, Uh, and I could sense that if I didn't use visuals, it was very difficult to get across any concepts. So my entire presentations was full of visuals over which I would talk. So please leverage the visual aspect of your lectures or your classes, because the visual impact is much more easily understood. And I think we sometimes delve too much into textbooks and passages from there. I know there are some subjects where visuals are not so easy to generate, but as far as possible, that's one learning for myself when I took that class.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Anyone from the students, GIMS Institute students wants to ask anything? Maybe you can unmute and ask.
while they are unmuting. On the visuals, they say a photograph is worth 1,000 words, and a moving photograph, a moving picture is worth 1,000 photographs. So, you can take your cue from that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Captain Kalia, sir, you have raised your hand again. You want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to tell Yankee that in the earlier days we used to have those Archie's comics and all these things, huh? And something of that sort can be incorporated in this case. But he's already talking about the moving pictures and all that, photographs and all that. That is very correct. Thank you very much, Yankee.
Pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Anyone wants to ask any more questions? You can unmute yourself. I am you, Mumbai. Okay. Anyone? If not, then I will have few questions on your behalf, as we are hearing those questions regularly in our mentoring session, sir. I would ask those questions on mentees' behalf.
Sure.
How can they, most of the time they feel that they are doing everything correct for their exams. I'm asking because most of the questions are coming from second mate level, because they face a lot of challenges during exams. I know that your expertise on higher side, but I'm sure those expertise from IIMs and teaching those executives will definitely help them as well. So, sir, what is the advice that you would like to give them, that in spite of doing everything correct according to them, and they still do not get the positive results?
Yeah. Is this more in the direction of written exams or the orals?
Both. Sometimes they do have these concerns that they have solved all the questions correctly, but then some of them, they do complain that the results are not favorable. Orals, sometimes it is luck, sometimes they feel that those questions were not probably meant for them, or maybe the preparation was not up to that level. So how can they prepare? You have mentioned one point, sir, during your speech, that assignment based, that if you can take that assignment, put it as a module based, prepare it such a nice, don't come up with some excuse. Probably I would like to hear that why these excuses coming up.
Yeah. So I'm not very much involved in the examination system as it is today. But as for written exam, it's like any other written exam. You have a syllabus, you have the content, which you need to just become familiar with, and then when you come to the exam hall, uh, you know don't pressurize yourself so much, what question is going to come and this and that. Get a good night's sleep beforehand, you know and let your brain do its job. Brain needs rest, and the memory cells will give you much better results if you let them rest before the night. I know the day of the exam, there are all those the tension of what question will come and what will not come, and some of your friends will come and say, "Hey, what about, did you study that subject?" You say, "Oh my God, I didn't." Half your brain is already blocked off. You should not listen to nobody. Just have confidence in yourself, cover the syllabus, go through it, make your own notes. Nothing better than actually writing notes of your own. Don't rely too much on computers, or only reading material. Make your own notes. The reason for that is that when you write something, it is going to stick in your mind much stronger and much longer, right? So even if it's a few points, jot them down, key words, key sentences, key phrases, and that will come back to you when you need it at the time of exam. If you haven't made that effort, then it becomes a little more difficult. So that's for the written exam. For the orals, I actually can't wrap my head around this phrase. I didn't prepare for orals or preparation for orals. There isn't any preparation as far as I am concerned. If it is preparation, it started from the day you stepped on your first ship. From that time, your orals preparation started. You know, so everything that you observed, everything that you learned, all through all these months, that is what needs to now go through the thinking process when you are answering a question. Yes, I know there are some questions which don't even belong in orals, which are very much like a written question, like what are the 6 annexes of so and so Marpol, whatever. I mean, that's not an orals question, for heaven's sake. But how do you, for example, if it is Annex 6, how would you ensure that a vessel is complying? Then you would, pick up from what you have learned on the ship, because that's where Annex 6 is being complied with. If you didn't pay attention to that, then, book knowledge is sometimes just not going to cut it. So observation of what goes on the ship at your level daily and at the level of the next grade. So if you're a second mate, do your job as a second mate, but keep an eye on what the mate is doing, and how he's going about fulfilling his responsibilities. Occasionally, I've had orals exam kind of as an external examiner. I don't go often, but once in a while. And to my, disappointment, there are mates candidates who have never seen a ship certificate because it lies in the master's cabin. And if you ask them to describe, what is this certificate all about, they have difficulty. It's the effort that was needed to go to the master and say, can I have a look at the certificates file? That's all it would need. But, we just get tied so much in our own line of job. Perhaps, we neglect other things that need to be observed. So orals preparation is more about what you had learned all through in your shipboard experience. And that is why sea time as a part of STCW is not just so that you can spend time at the sea and earn money. It is so that you learn beyond what is there in the textbooks. So that's what sea time is for. Otherwise, you can go up to master's exam and pass it without ever going to sea. If you just relied on the books, you could do that. But and I know very well that just won't cut the ice.
Thank you so much, sir. Such a nice advice you have given, and we have also observed this. There are set of notes which are moving around on various WhatsApp, and authenticity of that notes and probably the answers of that notes is not up to the mark, and everybody just mugging up and repeating the same answer, and therefore it is very easy for surveyors to gauge, from where it is coming. So you have very well summed up that you make your own notes. When you make an effort to make your own notes, you will definitely go through various books. You will definitely go through the textbook. You will not make notes from the notes. And when you read the textbook, you will definitely learn more than what you are knowing already. The other thing which you rightly mentioned, are oral preparation, that it starts from the day one, from the time that you start your onboard journey, and learn what you do and observe what others are doing, especially the seniors are doing. And I think if you do it for about 1.5 years, 2 years, whatever sea time that is required, once you come, trust me, you will not need much basically to prepare for your orals. Yes, sir, you want to add something?
Sorry, one thing I should give a warning here that you mentioned just now about these questions rotating around. There are some bloggers and sites wherever, and I came to know that there is a set of questions from different surveyors all listed over there. Out of curiosity, I said, I wonder if they have some questions of mine. And then I logged into that blog, and they said, well, if you want to download 350 rupees, you have to pay. I paid, and yes, I paid. I got all the questions down. Captain Shukla, Captain Uppal, Captain this, Captain that. Usme ek Captain Sharma bhi tha. So when I looked at those questions, half of the questions were not mine. I never asked them.
And one such questions came to me also, which was on your name. I didn't ask. I think I requested one of your batchmates to ask you to confirm, which later on he confirmed it doesn't belongs to you. That question was something very tricky, probably at master level, which was
Yeah,
asked from second man. But that is wrong. That's what I'm saying. These are not asked by the surveyors.
yeah. And not only that, please be careful, all you guys listening. All these blogs and questions are not indicating the context in which they were asked. And therefore, don't believe everything what is written there. As an examiner, I can tell you, I could be leading from one question to the other to the third. By the time we reach the third question, the context of the first two is important. But in the third question, the blogger will not write, what led to that question. And suddenly you are wondering how come this question was asked. So I think, just like WhatsApp University, we say, don't believe nothing unless there is absolutely unrefutable evidence about it. Same thing I would go with, oral questions. Don't believe nothing what written by other people unless you are sure you have the full story, right? Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. We have only 2 minutes left. Captain Upadhyay, you want to ask anything?
I
Captain?
want to say something
Yes, sir.
because your question was asked that if you have answered everything, but still you have failed. So up to 1982, I can tell you, after that, how it is looked into examination, I am not aware. So before 1982, it was called a competitive examination. And what that meant to us as a student was, if you suppose you have 60 boys appeared for say second estimate examination and only 15 have passed. So possibly you have written everything correct, but still you have failed because you have not done as good as those 15 who have passed. This was understanding given to us. Captain Sharma can also comment on this, but this is how we were told. You have failed because you have not done as good as the people who passed. So this is how competitiveness was stated, and you are supposed to get 70% and above. So even if you get 70%, still you can fail. This was told to us those days. I don't know now.
Now it is not like that, sir. We have discussed this point. If you have secured the required percentage, you will pass. There is not such requirements now.
Yeah, so thanks, Captain Upadhyay, for this input. Actually, it is news to me, as I never knew this kind of quota system existed. In my own case, I had practically walked through all my exams, so I never had to worry about it. But then there is a common perception that, demand of the industry is influencing the passing rate. When the industry needs people, passing rate is good. And when the industry is kind of full up, then DG shipping gets the indication and passing rate goes down. I don't really believe it. It's
I don't think you're right, sir. It's not to be believed. Yeah.
no,
Yeah. Okay, Captain, Mr. Pradhan, you want to say something, sir? Ravindra Pradhan. Mr. Ravindra Pradhan, you want to say something, sir? You have raised your hand. Okay. So, sir, we have already crossed 1 hour and 30 minutes. I would request now we have discussed a lot about exams now, which was definitely not that we wanted to discuss much, but seeing the strength of especially games, Chanakya guys and all, we thought of touching base upon these matters. Now, before we sum up these sessions, would like to request you, sir, the leadership lesson in nutshell that you would like to convey to young generations and our generation.
Uh, Leadership lessons. Well, if it is the young generation that I'm addressing, I will have to clarify that, what do we mean by leadership here? Uh, do we expect leadership to be displayed by at cadet level, or are we talking leaders are only when they reach senior positions, mate, master, or chief or second?
No, across. I mean, they are leaders. They are in the institute. They must be having cadet captain. I mean, that quality starts from the
Right.
right from the pre-C.
Exactly. Exactly. So let's not equate leadership with only official positions, whether even cadet captains or SCCs. Uh, but as an individual, I think the key definition of leadership would be ability to influence others. Okay? Ability to influence others so that they would follow what you say or what you do. And that does not necessarily translate into rank and number of stripes and so on. It is the way you deal with people. It is the way you carry yourself, the way you exhibit your own attributes, kind of impression that you make on others, that will translate into ability to influence them. And I'm not saying influence them in a negative way, please, always. It's influence people in a manner that they stand by the right values, the right morals, and do the right things. And that's good enough for me as far as leadership goes. So, remembering that you are always being observed by others, everyone is being observed by others. So, if you do something which is, uh, seen as frivolous or unethical or downright mean, immediately the person gets an impression that will lessen your ability to influence. So be careful of how you go about in your public behavior, uh, how you deal with people, how you talk to people, how you express your views, how you control your emotions, stuff like that. So at all levels, when it comes to leadership, ability to influence others, uh, keep that as the mantra. And uh, when you actually interact with people, also examine how it is working for you. Not always you get success, but it's not just like we are negotiating and making deals, but we are actually convincing people that, yeah, all right, what we have to say has value, and they would follow it. That's that.
Thank you, sir. I think very profound message. Ability to influence. So it starts from whatever rank or unranked. It doesn't depend upon what rank you're serving. It doesn't have to do anything with the ranks, and in a positive way, definitely. And the other thing that you mentioned about being observed, you are being observed all the time. So you have to conduct yourself in such a way that people can get influenced by your accent, by your talk, by your behavior, whatever way that you are being observed. So nice of you, sir. The Captain Pradhan, I think Ravindra Pradhan cannot unmute, so I'll just read his questions up and we close after that. He's asking, how do we encourage these students in class to ask questions when they have experts during sessions? So probably, if I understand correctly, how to inculcate these habits of asking questions in the cadets, I would say.
Yeah, right. Why only cadets? Any class and any audience. If it is a lecture mode, and there is no interaction, the amount of learning that is transferred is likely to be limited. So we must have opportunities to have that interaction, which means uh, exactly this, asking questions, clarifying doubts. So now, depending on who the audience is and how you would approach it, if it is senior people sitting in the class, I wouldn't outright ask a question. Hey, Amresh, please answer. What do you think of what is the answer to this one question? I would not like to put you in a situation of embarrassment in case, you are not sure about your answer. But I would word it in such a way that I could draw out from you your existing ideas or thoughts, and then we build upon that jointly in the class. So don't single out people in that sense, and also give enough time in your lesson plan uh, to, at least if it is a, say, 45-minute session, at least 10 minutes should be given only for the interaction part. Don't The trouble is we pack so much of content into that 45 minutes. There's no chance for people to raise questions, and if they do, they will have to say, okay, we'll take that later, and later never comes. So keep in fact, a 45-minute session should have only 30 minutes of content and 15 minutes of uh, duration for interaction, and there some gentle prodding, nudging, patience, but never insulting to anybody. You don't know this, you can't answer this, that kind of thing. And also making it very clear from the very beginning that no question is a foolish question. In fact, I always say this, the only foolish question is the one that never got asked. That was the foolishness. If there was a question, it just could have been asked. And the trainer or teacher has to deal with it sensitively, whether it's a senior person or a junior person, doesn't matter. And always appreciate the question, because the person who had the courage to ask it must be lauded for that, because there are 10 other guys sitting in the class who probably had the same doubt but didn't have the courage to ask. And so one guy did, so that benefited everybody. So that's the way of encouragement of interaction to take place.
Thank you, Captain Sharma. But I can see there's so many students sitting. I just wanted one of them to at least come out and ask one question from the institutes. It will be like that fear should go away.
Yeah, but here is also a matter of environment. Poor fellows are sitting far away from any mic or ability to actually communicate. I know there are those limitations.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I think we have already crossed 1 hour and 40 minutes. So nice of you for giving us time, and you have discussed entire journey. And I think this 1 hour and 40 minutes will definitely work for many of us. It is a great learning experience, especially personally for me, from your journey, and I'm sure it must be a great learning experience for cadets out there who are joined from various institutions across the country. Thank you all the mentors, thank you all the mentees for joining. Thank you again, sir, for your time. Just to sum up, cadets and all the mentees who are part of this program, that struggles do come. Everybody has their own shares of struggles. You have to keep trying. Make your own brand name, work for your own brand, and make sure that it resonates with some sort of ethics, some sort of morale, that you are being named as so and so with the dignity. And when you are doing this from the day one, from the time that you start your journey as a pre-seed cadets, till the time you are into the market, trust me, this journey will take you along, and your journey itself will work as a CV, as Captain Sharma has mentioned. You don't have to prepare probably in paper. Your work will speak for yourself. There are n number of opportunities. There are n number of courses you can do depending upon what is your interest, what you would like to do in your career. We are all here to guide you as and when you think that there is a need of some guidance. You have your teachers, you have your trainers, you have your principals, then you have got your seniors there in your academy, and of course we are also available. So if there is anything that we can be of some help, you can always reach out to us. Examinations wise, do it preparation, you have to do it from your textbook. Don't go through any sort of WhatsApp University or from the other notes. Make your own notes. And the last is you have to be differentiator. You need to have something different. You need to add some sort of value to wherever you are going. If you are adding some value, then definitely you will be, kind of considered a kind of better candidate than others. So this is all from today's session. So you want to say his last word, and then before we close it.
Oh, I wish everybody the very best for their future. And I say again, congratulations for taking up the sea as a career. You may not be at sea for entire length of your career. That's understandable. Period of time will come when you will look for shoreside opportunities. That's fine. But the grounding that you will get from the sea, the learning that you will get, that's incomparable. You can't get that anywhere else. So make the best of it, and don't be afraid to do the right thing, whatever the situation demands. It's follow your heart. That's what it is. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Select Today, for live broadcasting into your YouTube channel. Those who have not been attending today live, you can watch it later on in your Select Today YouTube channel. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot for giving your time.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Take care. Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.